Welcome back to the Montreal Expos franchise. The Expos are 32-32 here in Season 2, and we're sliding a little bit, but this has been expected in this series. We ended last episode talking about the top prospects in baseball, and you guys said to keep scouting Luis Davila, and you guys have never been more right. It has been revealed that Luis Davila is a generational prospect, and he is guaranteed now to be our #1 prospect if he is available. Davila hits the ball extremely well. He also has a pretty good arm behind the plate. But will he be available at number 3 when we draft? Because the Athletics and the Rockies are ahead of us. They need a lot of talent. And if Davila drops down number 3, we will surely take him. And because of this news, we have narrowed our top 5 prospects down to top 3. And it's going to look like this. All 3 of them will be offensive players. Let's go to Clemson, where we check out Joseph Norris. He is the number 3 ranked MLB.com prospect, and he has our scouts ranked number 2. One thing I love about him is he is an elite level outfielder. We do not have any, I would even say, good fielding outfielders. We don't have anybody that can really make a impact defensively, and I think that Norris could come in and do that pretty much almost immediately. I think he could use a year in the minors, but I think right now his skill set is probably pretty transferable to the MLB as it stands right now. That leaves Val Ungerer, who falls out of the top 3. He is amazing. Let's not get that twisted, but there is so much value as far as pitching, which we'll see in a moment. But the third guy I have moved up the board now is Tom Swanson. He's an elite level college hitter, and that's what really separates him. He's probably going to one day go for the batting title. He is that great of a hitter. I really do believe it. And playing for the Gators, they have a long list of great hitters that come out of the University of Florida, and he is one of them. He is just pure from the left side of the plate. He is definitely, in my opinion, a better hitter than Norris, but I think both of them would be amazing guys to build this franchise around. I don't think we can get this wrong at all. If we get Davila, we obviously have a generational guy. If we get Norris, we have one of the best 5-tool players in baseball. And then obviously with him, he's going to be an elite level hitter. So all 3 of those guys round out our top 3. And we'll be probably picking from those 3 guys. But I ended up sending our scouts to discover new prospects, and let's just talk about those guys that I could potentially draft in round 2 and round 3. A not ranked prospect is 29th on our board, Carlos Samuels. One of the interesting pitchers here in this pool of prospects, because I didn't know too much about him, but he's actually taken a year off of baseball and now has risen up the draft boards. He went home to Panama to take care of some family matters, but it looks like now he is back in the draft and he looks to be ready to make that leap to the professional level. He is really good. He is 20 years old. He's going to be a young guy we can build around. But a guy that is circled on my board and my favorite prospect in the entire draft, believe it or not, is Diego Guerrero out of the University of Miami. He's 23 years old. He looks a lot like a lot of the college pitchers coming out, but there is something a little bit different about him. His hits per 9 are elite right now. He's going to come in from somewhere between 65 and 70 overall. Hopefully it's 70. And he's going to come in as an A potential guaranteed. He is my favorite prospect I've seen in, at least pitching prospect I've seen in pretty much any draft that I've had in the last 2 years. I really, really like him. And I think that if he falls to the second round, hopefully he does, we're going to take him. Jaime Ramirez, or we call him Jamie Ramirez as his American name is. He is also a University of Miami guy. He is very, very interesting. A plus fielder, excellent speed. You're not going to find a faster guy in this draft at all. Now, he's going to come in with 80 to 98 potential. Our scouts found him as an international outfielder, and he's going to be a good player in the future. Now, he might need a year or maybe even two to develop in the minors, but that doesn't bother me at all, especially if he's going to come in with a high potential. Who knows how far he will fall, but his athleticism really sets him apart. Look at him fly down the line right here. I think he's going to be an excellent outfielder one day in the major leagues. Let's talk about some guys that I think might fall. First, Roger Pinto. He's going to come in with 83-95 potential. He's got good walks per nine. He's got good stamina. He is just 21 years old. He's coming out of college, though, from the University of Missouri. He's really good. To me, I think that he's a guy that could fall in this draft and we could snag maybe even in the 4th round, maybe 5th. Who knows? I think a lot of scouts are overlooking him. And I'm not sure why he's not ranked. I feel like he is much better than a lot of the pitching prospects in this draft. And maybe we could steal him late in this draft. Let's talk about some guys that are kind of unheard of. First, Gregory Camacho. Our scouts have him ranked extremely high at number 11. Usually when your scouts find some guy like this that is not ranked and they end up being this high right away, there's probably going to be something special about them. And the thing is, since we know one of our top 3 picks is going to be elite, with our 2nd round pick, do we take the chance on Camacho? We know how highly regarded he is as far as our scouts go. He is another lefty prospect. We don't have many elite pitching prospects right now. We have Gary Shoemaker and Gary Brooks. That's it. Other than that, we don't really have anybody. So to add a young 18-year-old to that prospect list under the Expos, I think we could be onto something. Camacho could be a risk, but it could be a high reward risk. Now let's talk about guys that hopefully are around in rounds 4, 5, or 6. Let's start with Samuel Guerra. Now, Guerra is 22 years old. He's not going to be a guy that's going to absolutely, wow you, but he's a college guy, a 4-year senior. He's got good vision at the plate. He's got decent fielding attributes. He's out of Wake Forest, and Wake Forest always produces some really good college prospects, and I think that he could be special. Now, I'm not going to reach on him, though. If he falls down the board, we could take him, but I think that's the only way we're really going to go after him. One guy I'm really, really high on late in this draft is Josh Richmond. If he's there for our 4th round pick, he could be a considerable choice. Now, this would be one of those draft picks where you're not concerned about the potential. You just want a guy that can contribute early. He's going to come in just about around 75 overall and 75 potential. We know what he's going to be. We know exactly what kind of player we're getting. But the thing is, he's an elite level hitter. He went to UConn for college, and he's ready to go to the pros. And to me, he is one of the most polished prospects in this draft. But his ceiling isn't as high as the other guys that, obviously we kind of highlighted earlier. I think what's going to make him great, though, is that he's just going to be a very solid MLB player. Now, do we take a chance at another C potential? I'm not sure. But we need talent. That's the thing. We need talent. It doesn't matter if it's going to be a high potential guy or a C potential guy. We just need guys who can play. The last guy I need to still send my scouts out to go see is Matt Lantigua. He is interesting. Now, he is a college guy as well. He goes to the University of Michigan. So we're going to send some of our scouts out to see if he's really legit. His power versus right is really high, 63 to 82. I'm not sure what else, though, he is good at. So he could end up being a bust. I guess we'll have to see. So next episode will be the draft, so you don't want to miss that. I want to dedicate a whole episode to that because this was a very, very important draft class for us here in Season 2, especially seeing what we did in Season 1. But back to the regular season here, we're looking at some stats, and Cal Mitchell is absolutely dominating right now. At 62 overall, he's still in his mid-20s. I really, really love what I'm seeing from him, and he is leading our team in average by a long shot. Now, he is obviously hasn't been starting the whole year, so he's not eligible for the batting title. But as we keep getting him more at-bats, he will soon be eligible, and he's going to be in the running because he is just absolutely raking right now. Augustus Macklin is still at the top of the Rookie of the Year race. He's hitting about 260, 255. Christian Walker has struggled a little bit. He's came back down a little and regressed. He's hitting 255. I would say these are still really good numbers, but I definitely want to see more out of him. He's just on a little bit of a cold streak, so we're going to want to maybe platoon him. Maybe not platoon him, but allow him some breaks at DH, and that's maybe what we will end up doing. Letting Augustus Macklin play first base, who knows? Pitching-wise, Alexander Santiago is still having a really good rookie season. He's very, very good with those numbers. 2.65 ERA, a 1.28 whip. German Marquez is doing really well this year with a 3.62 ERA, 1.23 whip. He's got to have some trade value. John Means is a little disappointing. I thought he was going to be a little more dominant, but he's doing good. Not okay, not, great. He's just doing a little above average. I do want to see him do a little better. Matthew Boyd might have some trade value as well. He has a 110 whip. He's 3-3 with his record. Then our bullpen's doing okay also. Dwayne Underwood is actually doing a lot better than what I thought he would do. He's actually been our best bullpen guy so far through the first 60 games or so. So now we go up against the Phillies. And if we lose this game, we are officially under 500. And I don't want to do that. We have lost the last 5 games to start the month of June. And we'll see if we can get a big-time win versus you-know-who, Bryce Harper and the Phillies. And I think that this is a prime opportunity for a lot of these guys to showcase what they can do around the league, because we're obviously not competing for the division, but we're obviously probably going to be sellers at the deadline. So we'll see what these older guys can do if they want to go to a championship team to boost up that trade value. So we have the 1-0 lead going into the 6th inning facing the Phillies. And we have 7 hits to their 1. Matthew Boyd was on a roll, but then he gives up a 3-run homer to Trey Turner in the 6th. And now it's a 3-1 lead here for the Phillies. We go into the bottom of the 7th inning. Still 3-1. We have 9 hits to their 4. Just off of that 3-run home run by Trey Turner, the Philadelphia Phillies are on top. They still have only 4 hits, 3 runs, and we have 10 hits and only 1 run. And now we come to a crucial part of the game, top of the 9th. We get 2 runners on here, and Dairon Blanco comes to the plate and could be the hero in this one. He's 2 for 4, and Dairon Blanco, as you know, has that great speed. Does he have the clutch gene as well? He gets a pitch high, and that one will be a ball. And now it is a 3-2 pitch with Tim Anderson, who is hitting .313 with runners in scoring position, and he loves hitting versus lefties. Jose Alvarado delivers to the plate. This is a ground ball to third, on to second, and they turn the double play. The Phillies get the win on Bryce Harper's day off, and the Expos are officially under 500. Man, that sucks, because even though I want this rebuild to be a rebuild, it was kind of cool seeing this team compete, but now it looks like we are starting to slide. And now to start the month of June, we have lost 9 in a row. We then go up against the Yankees, down 6-5, bottom of the 9th inning, with a 9-game losing streak on the line. Could possibly go to 10 in a row, double digits. Here comes Christian Walker, our big free agent signing, with a big-time moment right here. He gets a pitch low. Man on first and second. He swings at that one. It's now a 1-2 count. What will Walker do now? 2 for 4. He gets a hanger and crushes this one deep to left field. It's a walk-off for Christian Walker. What an ending to this game. An 11th home run for Walker. And he's been a guy that needs to be the leader of this clubhouse. And he comes through in the clutch, snapping that 9-game losing streak with one swing of the bat. And one thing I'm expecting from Walker is really to be a mentor for Augustus Macklin, who I project to be one of our best hitters going forward. And he is the front runner for Rookie of the Year. And our first 2 weeks of June look like this. 9 in a row. Well, I guess we did lose 10 in a row now that I look at it. We lost 10 in a row. So to snap the 10-game losing streak, he walks it off right there. But after a couple of weeks and seeing how well Cal Mitchell is hitting, he's now up to 358. We got to move him up in the lineup. He is even progressing. He's now at 63 overall. At the start of this season, he was at just 60 overall. Already 3 attribute points overall that he's already went up. So that's a great sight because I think that Cal Mitchell could be onto something with these other players that we have that are probably low overall and might not get an opportunity because of their overall in a lot of situations. But seeing how well Cal Mitchell is doing, I'm going to move up Bruce Edwards to AAA. Give him an opportunity to play versus a little bit better competition and see what he can do. And if he tears it up, I'm going to move him up and get him some MLB reps. To be honest, I don't really care about his rookie status, but I want to see what he can do versus better pitching, better competition. And here he is at the plate for his first AB at the Rochester Red Wings. So here we go now. He is our number 5 prospect now in the organization, by the way, as Bruce Edwards swings and misses at the outside slider. It's a swinging strike 3. Edwards was our 5th round draft pick last year, and we'll see what he can do here at the AAA level. Here is our top prospect in baseball, at least for the Expos organization, Gary Shoemaker, the lefty, 70 overall, still 19 years old. He's got a lot of developing to do, and he gets the strikeout right there. Now facing the second batter of the game, chopper to first. Covering the bag is Shoemaker, and that's Bill Hedger who backhanded that one onto Shoemaker for the second out of the inning. As that brings up Justin Turner, the longtime Dodger. He swings and misses at that outside curveball, and it's a swinging strike 3, and we were out of the first inning. This brings up Bill Hedger, who, remember, struggled last episode, really struggled, and he was hitting around 200. He's got that average up around 250. He hits this one to opposite field and will have the stand-up double. And Bill Hedger, our first-round draft pick, I think needs to pop. He needs to pop here in the second half of the season because I think that one thing that we need is a guy that can bring some more electric to the lineup. Bruce Edwards up here in the second AB, and he will just chop this one to short for the easy double play ball. Edwards now 0 for 2 in his debut at the AAA level. He gets one inside again, and it's just a weak ground ball to third. So a pedestrian 0 for 3 day here for Bruce Edwards. But now back to Bill Hedger. He is 2 for 2 in this game, and he's really trying to show us something because he goes the opposite field to the right center gap. He will drive in this run all the way from first, but Hedger showing off the bat, and it's a big reason why we drafted him, and he's showing off today with another double, making it a great 3 for 3 game. What a bounce back he's had. So now here is Edwards 0 for 3 today in his 4th AB. He gets one up in the zone. He hits this one well to center field. It keeps going back to the wall, and it's gone. Bruce Edwards with his first hit at the AAA level. It's a 397-foot home run, and Edwards is one of those guys to look out for, and I was looking for him to break that 0 for 3. I would call it a baby slump. And he gets a homer, and he's on the board here. But back to Hedger. He's 4 for 4 in this game, and this one was clobbered to right center field. Maybe we need to give a closer look to Bill Hedger and see if he's ready for the MLB because he is now starting to hit the ball really, really well. If he continues hitting like this through the month of June into July, close to the All-Star break, he could be a guy to be promoted in short order. 4 for 4 today. Can he make it 5 for 5? The elusive 5 for 5. He gets one well to center field. Right on the screws. A perfect swing. But it's just a line drive out. The Red Wings end up winning this game 8-6. Too close to be honest with you. 14 hits in this one. But Hedger led the way 4 for 5 in this one. And it's good to see Hedger doing well, because I was getting very, very concerned about our draft class in season 1, but I definitely want to see Hedger really take advantage of his moments. So now we get into the late half of June, the second half, I should say. And here's Jamal Watson in a situation where he's going a complete game shutout, and Watson has been getting spot starts, and he gets a start today facing the Cleveland Guardians. Here is Brian Rocchio at the plate now, and he's only at 71 pitches and gets Rocchio to swing and miss. And that's only his 4th strikeout of the day, by the way. De Los Santos at the plate. He hits one hard on the third base line. This one's knocked down by Macklin, picked up by Barger, thrown on the first for the second out of this inning. Just an interesting play right here. Macklin just knocks it down, and then Barger gets the rebound and throws it over to first for the second out, as that brings up Andres Jimenez. Ground ball up the middle, and Watson will get a complete game shutout here, and he is really, really impressive this year also. Now, one thing about him is that, is he a reliever? Is he a starter? That's been the question this year. He can do both. Like, I like him kind of in this role where he is coming out of the bullpen, but also can give you starts as well. And he really, really impressive today. Really impressive. 9 innings pitched, 3 hits. He's amazing. Seeing what he's doing this year, he's got a 2.99 ERA, around a 1 whip. He's got 6 games started, 81 innings pitched, and he does have 3 quality starts out of those 6. That's the only thing. I think it's just that he just doesn't have the stamina to really go late in innings, and maybe that's something we should start marking down for his training. I think I'm going to try that, try to get him training with his stamina so that he can maybe go back into the rotation on more of a full-time basis. So we get to the 21st of June and playing the Red Sox, who are a very comparable team to us. We end up losing this one 4-1. And this was a tough game. Augustus Macklin went hitless. Christian Walker went hitless. And one thing that we're just failing to do is to score runs. Tim Anderson leads us with 41 right now. Christian Walker is second with 39. But we are 24th in the league. We are just struggling to score runs. But there's only one... I wouldn't say only one, but there is one really great thing. It's just that Macklin is still in the front runner for Rookie of the Year. Now, remember, if he gets Rookie of the Year, he does get a Rookie of the Year bonus that I give to all the Rookie of the Year winners. So just to bring you guys behind the curtain, I usually give a ratings boost to Rookie of the Year, to the batting title, and to both MVPs. So that's kind of how we do boost across the entire league. And then usually I find a few players around the league who surprise, across the MLB, and I give those guys a couple of boosts. It's usually just like a 1 or 2 attribute boost, but I do like to kind of even it out around the league. So here we are now, and I want to check out Augustus Macklin, hitting .260, slugging well. I wish he was progressing a little faster, but it's okay. He's still hitting pretty well. But now hitting in that 4 spot, I definitely want to focus on him and kind of bring you guys behind the curtain and make sure that you guys keep up with him, because he's a name to watch out for. And it's supposed to be a passing of the torch from Christian Walker to AMAC. And we'll see if AMAC can continue his success at the plate here in his rookie season versus the Red Sox. Facing Cutter Crawford on the mound here. He turns on this one. That's a hit to right field. It should score one here, and the throw home will not be in time. Macklin hitting in that 4 spot. Now, he's hitting that 4 or 5 spot this entire season, and Macklin is just a phenomenal player. Now, he has been playing third base as well, so that's something to keep your eye on. He could fully switch his position over to third, as he has been playing there because of Christian Walker obviously signing with the Montreal Expos as well. Here in the second inning, he does pop out in foul territory, as that brings us into the 5th inning. Macklin, nobody on base here, 2 outs, gets a pitch to hit. This one's driven deep to right field. It's a home run. Augustus Macklin, who I'm hoping will lead our team in home runs this year. It's going to be a close race. He's got 12 before the All-Star break. He could break 30 home runs in his rookie year. He does come up late here in the 7th. That's a chopper to first, and now 2 for 4 in this one. One more AB. He gets one over the middle of the plate. This one's hit up the middle. A diving stop here, and Macklin does beat it out, and they will rule this one a single, and it brings it to a 5-6 game. But unfortunately, the Red Sox end up pulling this one off. We just had guys on first and second with no outs in the 9th, and we still could not win that game. That is the kind of reality that this team is about. We just fail to score runs when we need them. I don't know what it is, but our guys just do not produce. And that's going to actually bring us to guys we need to bring and add to the trade deadline, to the trade block, I should say, at the trade deadline. I think there's a lot of moves we can make potentially at the deadline, and this could be the make or break year where we need to trade away these veterans and start building around the young guys on a full-time basis. Obviously, Christian Walker is one of those guys I still want to build around, but looking at some guys like Jose Hernandez, who is actually at the AAA level and has went up in potential. He is killing it at the AAA level, by the way. In 28 innings pitched, a .96 ERA and a .75 whip. He is doing amazing. Now, I'm not sure I want to move him up because I want his trade value to stay super, super high. And I think that he's a guy that could be most definitely on the move. And he's probably got a lot of value, especially for a team looking to push for the playoffs. Having a really young, really inexpensive, and very good reliever goes a long way. He could probably field a lot of value in prospects in return. Probably not a bunch, but we could probably package some things to get a good prospect. But we'll see how that looks going into the trade deadline, which will be 2 episodes from now. Akil Baddoo is going to be a guy that we add to the block, but I'm not sure we will move him. Maybe the Akil Baddoo experiment hasn't gone well, and we need to just cut our losses right now before he starts to get really old and just has no value. I guess we'll see. Connor Joe, hitting pretty well. I'm going to add both of them to the trade block, him and Jankowski, because they both have really good attributes, and they have key things that could, bode important for these playoff teams. So I definitely want to just keep their names on the block. If we don't get any offers for them, I don't mind keeping them. But we head into the month of July, and you can just see we're just failing to score runs. It's just the same story. We get a 7-0 victory versus the Pirates, but we end up dropping 2 of 3 to Milwaukee, 1-4 and 2-1. And look at this game. Cal Mitchell had a hit. Alexander Santiago, though, he now drops to 6-7 on the year. And this is just a reality. I think we're making Santiago look bad here. We're just not producing runs, even with Cal Mitchell being at the top of that lineup. Doesn't seem to be helping much as we enter the month of July, and it's much of the same story. We lose 4 of the first 5, and now we are 14 games under 500. So we're really going to have a big episode next episode, because the draft is going to need to be huge, and having the number 3 overall pick does help, but we need to hit a home run in this draft, especially after season 1's draft. But I'm confident that we will. I've seen a lot of prospects in this draft class that I really like, and guys that we can build around, and then we can trade, put together some packages to get some really good veteran or really good young prospects as well. One guy I want to highlight here through almost the All-Star break is Corey Seager, who has 40 home runs at the All-Star break. He's on pace to break Barry Bonds' record. And look at the RBIs, 90 already. 40 home runs before the All-Star break. Wow. Just amazing. I've never seen anything like that. Efrain Handy is still the number 1 prospect in baseball, and he has officially been moved up to the AA level. So the Oakland A's are starting to load up, and they have the number 1 pick in the draft, do they go Luis Avila or do they pick somebody down the board? We're going to have to see. But our first round draft pick, Bill Hedger, in season 1 could be on his fast track to the MLB. If he continues to hit the ball like he did in this episode, it won't be long. So that's going to do it here in this episode. Next episode, you don't want to miss it. Probably the most important episode of the series as we look to add our star of the future. Hit subscribe. Hit that like button. The draft episode is next. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.